themselves. Maybe the win conditioner had to be the X factor and do something extra to win these rounds. Now sometimes I get this impression that that fire is gone out. And you have players that actually know they need to do more, just simply failed to do so. So it is a trying time for Liquid right now, especially with them hoping to ramp into the major. Making a lower bracket run here would definitely be a good place to start. They face off against the MongolZ. Opening map in this series is Mirage. We're fighting for our lives here in Group B with Team Liquid starting on the T side.
And it's hard not to talk about the elephant in the room for Loom. Well, maybe it's a Loom as well. He's been spinning away a little bit. The room for Liquid Ultimate has not been having the best of forms as far as the non-IGL is concerned. Lowest rater on the team. You compare that to MongolZ, who've been heavily propped up by 9-10 and his performances. It's a clear-cut contrast coming into Mirage. But in this pistol round, hopefully it's going to be more about MOUZ in other ways. MouZ comes in from behind. Dually is good for one. And while Cobra pushes them back away from A, it's Ultimate coming in through connector, looking for space, but nothing to find as MouZ's picking up two. Ultimate, two of his own, but it looks a whole lot less impressive when he doesn't have the bomb and doesn't have an idea of where these last two players are. He needs the full ace clutch. And if there's ever a way to start out strong, that would be it. Murder Hole is still locked through, so if he was to break it, would end up giving out information to the CT side. It's not undoable. MouZ is low, and Techno is really the main threat you have to deal with. But right now, Ultimate has boxed himself into stairs. By getting information, they no longer have a reason to peek. Techno keeps on threatening with the shadow, while there's been a full reposition, but this is certainly possible. Ultimate already with 4. The picture-perfect kill under Techno lines him up for what should be a round win, but MouZ will not allow his 2 HP to stand in the way of Mongolian destiny. A pistol round barely squeaked out.
Oh my goodness, I mean, that one hung by a thread. Really nice effort there from Ultimate. Talk about him as a player that receives a lot of critique here for Liquid, but almost clutched things back for them in that pistol round. I mean, the shots he hit were extremely important, but MouZ got the MongolZ into a winning position. He just wins that much harder, 2 HP or not. Wouldn't have think he would be tasked with clutching back for the MongolZ, but the MongolZ are probably just satisfied that it's looking like MouZ might get off to a hot start. That can be, and it's something we've talked about between each other, is just sometimes the MongolZ are a little reliant on the firepower to show up, but yeah, getting it all to happen at the same time, or even get 2 or 3 pieces to really feel in form, can be a difficulty.
That's the freest kill Cobra's ever gotten.
Yeah, this little sound bait that MOUZ tried to do inside of the B apartments while they took mid control hasn't really worked out. That's a solid kill for TYLOO to have found. But it'll be incredibly short-lived. Can't even get his hands on that MP9 inside of window, and it will be a dropping Cobra into Elige to finish off the 3K.
First gun round should be coming out now for Liquid, and hopefully they have the game plan to try and deal with what is going to be a lot of bonus buys out from the MongolZ, unless they choose to upgrade, which is unlikely. AWB does come out from 9-10 at the very least. I'm looking forward to seeing how he wants to put that to use.
Of course, having to play their second best of 3. Liquid shouldn't have too many extra plans here for the MongolZ game, but expect the MongolZ to be disruptive in any way they can. 9-10 starting the affair. MouZ incendiary down at the right time, and while he gets isolated, this has chewed down another as they try to make their way up ramp. A double kill here for the in-game leader of the MongolZ. And it's a pretty non-starter opening gun round here for Liquid.
And Blitz was one of the big missing pieces yesterday out versus Bait, right? Especially when you look out towards that Ancient just didn't have the impact that you really wanted to see from him to help them close it out. And 2, it's how Bait was even able to take it to a 3rd map. And if Blitz is coming alive with a little bit more to offer, well, that's That's great for the Mongols. They're still hunting down NAF. It's an important weapon to try and take out, but risking more than 3 of their own would be a bit foolhardy.
Yeah, they are likely to just restrain themselves on top of that package, restrict the routes that NAF can move in for an attempt at this clutch. He's still drifting towards the site, but yeah, just making sure there's no one hanging around too nearby. Blitz was so quick on his flank. So they will allow the save. NAF will actually deploy a smoke just to try and create a further perimeter, but no one's that interested in hounding him down.
This does cause some awkwardness in Liquid's economy. They're going to end up buying at least a couple of weapons around this, or maybe a Skevelars, to see if they can run the Gladiator like you said yesterday. Switch and swap those AKs.
Yeah, they'll half buy around this. That was that opening pick for 9-10. And then just kind of a segmented A attack. Only 2 players coming up the ramp, but the back player dies so quickly that it's essentially a 1v2 on the site.
How do they want to use NAF over here? Another push down underpass. Blitz is putting a lot of focus out on the underpass early on into this game, and as Elite will be climbing up quickly up to short, Blitz will be spotted out and taken down. Elite's quick to adjust back in, but while Techno picks up 1, 9-10 is honed in, ready and waiting for these peaks to come through. Re-peeking out into the AK is where the real risk lies, but Elite seems to be the one handling them a little bit too easily. Brings it back to a 2 versus 2, and as he closes the distance, picks up the AK, it's another kill for Elite, taking matters into his own hand. Mazinho alone, pushing through the smoke, will not be able to get the adjustment. The GOAT of North America still lives.
Yeah, I mean, huge round from Elige. To think that that AK gets so much mileage, he gets so much distance just with that opening attempt up through short, catching Blitz in the underpass, scaling in towards that B-bomb site, had players in the apartments ready to spring into action. They get stopped by 9-10, and if not for his constant pressure, it doesn't force this extra swing by 9-10 into the apartments. And then Elige just tying the bow on the round as well. There's been a lot of talk around Elige and his struggles in this iteration of Liquid. But when you can deliver moments like that against a team like the Mongols, that is big. NAF starting the affair off early with a kill. Going towards the Palace position. Blitz chancing the smoke and connector, and so it's back to a 4-on-4. There's good positioning here for Team Liquid. They can use this deep con position via MOUZ just to cause some interference, make it harder to read. Ultimate's looking to link up towards an A play, but they've got a couple deeply inserted spots, either via MOUZ or Elige inside of ladder.
Ultimate or NAF are not in positions to make plays for themselves at all. Ultimate's just trying to set up for MOUZ to find success, and as he will start to be...
Oh, what?
Given space, Elige peeks out and somehow wins that duel versus Cobra Zera. Coming back over to this A-bomb site, Mazinho has fallen, and Blitz will be pushed away, and this is something that we did actually see yesterday on Mirage from the Mongols. Mazinho didn't have the best CT side anchoring performance there either. Now, admittedly, it's early days, and Mongols even there did well. I think they ended the CT half 8-4 or something on those lines.
Yep, I think that's right.
But if Liquid have found weaknesses on this A side, I'd be interested to see them continue to exploit.
Good understanding, though, of what the reaction is typically for the Mongols. When they're down a man, they're the type of team that love looking for information and hunting in positions. Team Liquid just freeze. And even if Elige is supposed to die there, you know, the fight he wins on short against Cobra Zero is just not a fight he's supposed to, or a duel he's supposed to win. You know, these are the types of positions or spots that Liquid know can cause extra discomfort. They're expecting that reaction. They're able to punish the Mongols for simply not connecting to the head quite quick enough. Not a problem for a Liege. So it's a little frantic here from the CT side of the Mongols. Losing to that half-buy saved AK. Now a spot where they get wrapped up in discomfort. They're shooting each other in spawn. Shuei in his series against 3D Max. A lot of very, very good calls and a very good read onto Blitz. I like to talk about that guy as the mastermind. Blitz is in his head.
I'll cut to the top connector to try and prevent these players from coming back and recovering that weapon, but a boost up for Techno. He's really putting himself in harm's way right now. Has to be careful. Incendiary will follow him home. Cobrazero. He is a slim hope, but he is the last hope that the Mongols have for defending out anything on this B site.
They're rotating. The Mongols have read this.
They'll have a good timing. But they still need a kill coming out from Cobrazero. It is absolutely vital. Techno comes through with one, will be traded immediately, and that makes this 5-7 a lonely threat, and that threat finds nothing. 9-10 at the back of the bomb site, and Mazinho's already hightailed it out with a M4 that Blitz dropped in connector. He doesn't want anything more to do with this round.
Yeah, that gets very, very scary there for Team Liquid. See how low a couple of those players are. Double Molotov into the both van and the balcony. And just all of that interference caused by Cobrazero actually almost allowed for Techno to sweep them up before they could break into the site properly. But as I was saying with Shuei before, it's not just about his calling. He was also fragging quite well against 3D Max. And a couple of key rounds. Even if that series ended up being a total nail-biter on the finish, you know, Team Liquid get bailed out by a few of these, not too dissimilar to their start here on Mirage, but low-buy rounds. Something Gravity was talking about in his exit interview. So Liquid bounce back. Get a little annoyed perhaps with the way this map started. Could have been ultimate clutch over a 2 HP Mazinho.
Yeah.
But just sometimes all you need is one hero AK, even if it's not the one you start the round with, as long as you've got one on the finish.
All you need is a hero. Liquid has plenty of those. It's all about moving past their own kryptonites. Techno is not going to be a shiny green rock. That much I can tell you.
Oh, a little awkward on the timing there for Liquid. Seemed like they wanted to blow the con smoke, flash it as well, so they could take this fight over to Blitz inside of top connector. Naf is sliding out onto the A bomb site with the bomb on his back. He's made a step, and so Mazinho can fully capitalize on that timing.
Bomb.
Man advantage here for the Mongols. That's the bomb dropped over by Sandwich. And only this connector presence available here for Liquid.
9-10 waits.
9-10 already. Yeah, he's already on the angle so strong, and they could have lined up, but ultimate last man standing. Should be a sitter. 3-piece here for 9-10. Picked off the first player ramp, if I'm not mistaken, but Naf kind of had to make a play when one side of that split gets dealt with so quickly.
MOUZ being taken down that early on over there was definitely not a part of the memo. I hope we get to see this one. Yeah, flashbang doesn't do anything over there to deter the AWP, and when MOUZ gets taken down, they have a choice. Either our two players in mid are just going to be slowly suffocated out, or we have to put the bomb at risk. There's nothing else about it.
Just a couple of missteps there from Naf, though. He makes two actually coming out from ramp. The first one, Mazinho didn't bite. The second one, he knew he was out in the open.
Well, speaking of Mazinho biting, he feels like he's been given a full meal over in the middle.
those are the types of rounds I actually expected to see more from the MongolZ at the very onset into the gun rounds. It's actually something I've just noted with Team Liquid, is that their default can feel a little flimsy. And Mirage is a great map where you can be extremely disruptive on defaulting. It's a lovely tag there from 910 called the leg of ultimate.
Liquid are feeling awfully dry as they move back to recover the bomb as well. Elise will give himself nesting ground into his old habitat, but this is a two-man play coming in through the apartments, only one of which is a rifle. Ultimate with the AWP, who has asked for MOUZ to come over and provide assistance, so at least they'll have a few more numbers to be added to the tally. But with 30 seconds on the clock, Cobra Zera's HE grenade could be incredibly strong as well to slow them down even further. Spots them out. That HE is going to be making its way over. Ultimate might be saying goodbye. Yes, he is. Mazinho, the kill over in middle does not matter. And as Elise is picked apart by Techno as well, it's all enough. And he might just want to save this AWP. Indeed, he does. Backs off and away. Nothing to offer in the round.
Yeah, it was always going to be incredibly complicated if they wanted to try and win this. Naf may even die after time if he's not too careful. Just has to not swing anything and hope he doesn't get swung too hard. A little jump scare at the end. But that was always going to be difficult for Liquid. They get the mid control that served as a win condition in prior rounds, but they just don't get the pick with it. So the MongolZ play within their bomb sites, and without the resources to properly execute into the sites, you know, they have a few flashes, a couple Molotovs, but they don't have any smokes to segment the site properly. They do have to just hope that they can find a pick and burst onto the scene. And they fail to get that first step to the equation. So exhausting a few too many resources. This time they're going to just hope that they can go with an exec right off of the gate, straight into that A play.
Mazinho is in a very difficult position for Ultimate to deal with. Smoke in the face. Ultimate doesn't have an HE grenade to try and pop it open over here either. This was supposed to be the main threat coming out into the round, and right now it is being neutralized by one $300 fake wall.
But maybe, just maybe, if Shuhei gets his pick at B. Oh, there's now going to be a third person coming over. Here for the MongolZ over on this B bomb site. Yeah, there is a weapon to be recovered.
A little bit further? Okay, he got it.
Yeah, he was just, I think he was maybe slightly concerned that it could be watched for, but
okay.
Sets that aside. Nice kill for Ultimate. That splits the map in half.
Zinni's already put on a stopwatch though. As he comes in from behind, he's looking to trace out Ultimate. This is basically a 2 versus 1 on the B bomb site, but there is space for Shuhei to maneuver. Anten is the second player, but with Cobra getting the perfect timing, Ultimate spotted out now as well, has to fight for survival. Another critical shot being landed, but none of these shots will contribute to winning the round unless he actually does something with the AWP in the next.
Yes, another round, another saved ult. Yeah, they only came in with half of an investment here around that saved ult from the last time, so like you said, they will have money to buy in the following round, but you are hoping that Ultimate can have these contributions in rounds where it's not at the tail end of it. You know, 4 kills from the pistol round.
Yeah.
A couple kills here on the exit as well, but to see him more involved, because right now he's hitting shots. Just be nice if the round wasn't already over.
And it's times like this when normally you'd characterize a player like MOUZ. Hey, this is the guy who I'd like to make a play. This is the guy who I'd like to make a move on, right? In the same way where you used to say that about Nerds in the older Liquid. But somehow Liquid's never really been able to create that secondary playmaking opportunity away from your Elite, your Twist when he was on the team and whatnot as well. And you do wonder if maybe they can find a remedy to that problem right now, at least a band-aid. to get them one more round win, get them one step closer to potentially fighting for MongolZ's economy in a real way.
Also, this Liquid will know that this MongolZ is beatable. Played them extremely close in their last encounter at Blast Rotterdam. 13-10 and then an overtime victory for the MongolZ. Still a clean sheet, but they can bleed. This gun round is just pedestrian. Weirdly less exciting than the round where they still had P250s. It's again an AWP that's isolated and alone.
I don't even blame Ultimate for this one.
No,
what are you supposed to do?
I don't know if I would have blamed him for really any of the rounds, really.
You're like, hey, maybe you're not a part of the pack, this, that. Nah, he's a part of the pack. The pack's just dead. Yeah,
that's a tough one to stomach.
25 seconds. The A side is free, but he's not going there. So I take it back. The B side is the opposite of free. It's super expensive. It's overpriced, some would say. This isn't worth the bargain at all.
He would have just had to run and they would have known. So
is that a price tag or a phone number?
He's in trouble of getting pinched from both sides.
Well, another day, another 2 kills that Ultimate is wishing were at the start of a round, but it's not his fault that they're not.
And another AWP saved. 3 rounds in a row. Both of them carried forward.
James is watching this with tears in his eye. He's stealing strats right now.
Yeah, I don't... is James even saving AWPs these days?
He's not, but hey, that's why I said tears. It's nostalgia. It's once upon a time.
Oh, PVISION's also not looking too hot.
And this is a good showing from the MongolZ already. I don't want to take anything away from them, right? Considering the shaky ground that they were standing on yesterday, it feels like they have found maybe some of their land legs again.
This is looking more comprehensive from the MongolZ, that's true. It's just... For Liquid,
oh, Ultimate.
they've either won rounds or they really lost them. Being stripped out of their hands. Their grip not quite tight enough. Maybe another half-buy round will be what spurs them on.
You ever see a Deagle and think that probably could have been a Tech 9?
Oh my...
Because that's exactly how I feel right now. Leeds will get the 1-for-1 over there. 9-10 and Mazzinho have got to defend on this A-bomb set until Techno's able to rotate in. Mazzinho turns away from the flashbang, but he can't turn away from the bullet. Guess what? Naf, you don't have that ability either. Shuhi nearby will be able to creep through the smoke, get the headshot through, and bring it back to a 3-on-2. The problem is Cobra Zera slithering in the Serpent's grass. He will be able to come through from short. It's the bomb still on the ground, unable to be dialed in. Techno closes the distance. In Ultimate, the one round where last few seconds in a Duque would have mattered. Unfortunately, that's where he can't deliver.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really tough spot to deal with. I mean, the bomb is out in the open. He knows there's a player from short that he has to worry about. Techno's on side of the site. This was kind of a crazy peek from Blitz. Decided to swing really wide. There were 2 players moved to the opposite side of the window. But this 2K from Cobra was really what sealed the deal. Just when Team Liquid thought they might have found an in on that round. Was again stripped from their hands. Blitz is enjoying himself so much to the CT side, he's even AWPing.
Last round of the half. Liquid. Last chance for a little bit of an easier time going into their CT side. Let's boost it up. AW at the ready. Yeah, pushing forward over here is daring, but you know what? It works out. He will not be able to do much beyond that, but Cobra, at least from behind, will make sure it's a 4 versus 3. MongolZ keep numbers advantage. And now with Liquid completely split apart, they're looking at Elige, the only player with a chance of making something happen, but 910 is aware of Elige's tendencies. They're triangulating him down. They've left Cobra Zero to deal with the remaining B player, and they've said at least someone find the bald man. And he reveals himself, comes through with a quick kill, and now he's going to have access open to the B bomb site. You can see Cobra rotating back over to Snacks and Short. He would rather be in a position where he can play off of Techno, and as Elige comes in from behind, it's a challenge with 910 that really matters. Ultimate, can he stay alive over here? Molotov in his hand. Techno will realize what's going on over here, but he doesn't actually choose to take his sightline into connector. 10 seconds left. 910 gets the critical kill, and as Ultimate moves forward, tries to plant the bomb. 910, remember, has already been traded. Ultimate can finally make this late round clutch something that seems doable, but Cobra Zera takes his head off before he has time to think.
Oh my goodness. Again, one of those moments where, yeah, he has an opportunity, but it's just simply stripped away. Cobra Zero playing spoiler into so many of these rounds. 12 and 5 from that youngster, and a pretty heartbreaking half from Team Liquid. Won 3 rounds in a row to jumpstart the engine, and then lost out the rest of the rounds in the half. Not for lack of trying, not for lack of getting close in a couple of them, but it's hard to say that the Mongols weren't ahead in man advantages or good positions in a lot of the rounds that the Mongols did convert. If not for that half-buy round, this could have been a real ugly half for Liquid if it wasn't ugly enough already.
Gosh, and now you look over towards the CT side where they've been struggling in firepower. If we're being frank about it, the only ray of hope you can hope for is maybe just, hey, Ultimate has hit good op shots, right? So put that weapon in his hands and then we can talk. But the problem between 3 versus 4 is it feels like that weapon might make its way into your hands a little bit too late, if at all.
Yeah, it's just simply as well hard to say that you can't have. I mean, you have to rely on the pistol to even get into a position where you can have that conversation of Ultimate having that AWP. Because the Mongols could just simply close things out. They'll have a gun round if they don't convert. It's something about Navi's performance coach talking about wonderful and drinking salt water before his games, or salinated water. Well,
it's cool
like
that esports people are
discovering
electrolytes.
Yeah, the thing is you can get like electrolyte sachets, and I know a lot of teams do that. I know Vitality do that. I used to do it at home, even though I'm like not an athlete. It's just nice to have a source of electrolytes.
Yeah, pro tip to everyone, especially if you're traveling a lot, you really need them because like planes destroy your electrolyte balance. They're really bad for you in that way.
Why is the plane using my electrolyte balance?
Because how else is it gonna fly, Michael?
Is that how that works?
Yeah, dude, they need electricity to fly. MOUZ is an interesting player as well, though, Michael, seeing him on my screen. And this is something where I think MOUZ has just been given this big elevation, right, coming out of the North American scene, coming out of MAT. And then he was put into a box that he really didn't feel like he could fill. He was supposed to be the Nico replacement on G2. And I mean, Soz talked about it as well. He said about how, hey, I think we might have given him too many responsibilities. I think maybe we might have crushed some of that development, and I think we might have taken away some of that killer instinct in our,
sure,
in the speed in which we're trying to put him into the shoes of, frankly, the unfillable. There is no other Nico.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of players that also want that responsibility that has Nico type roles or aim or, the flair, really. Yeah. So sometimes there's only one of that type of player. But I agree. It's nice to see MOUZ playing because he wasn't until today, so I'm sure Liquid are happy to have him in their presence. They should also hope they can rely on him to turn the other cheek on this CT side, because he's currently 2-11.
Elise doesn't have a head right now, and right now, well, it's on the ground rolling away. Techno and CobraZero with cleaner entries than you've ever seen. This is a janitorial service over on this B-bomb site. Ignore the red splatters on the floor, that's just detergent. Ultimate and MOUZ coming over, the inspection crew, and they don't feel the happiest. MOUZ just take down one of the contractors, looking for a little bit more. Swinging out wide will leave CobraZero and Blitz low. Let's not forget, this is not impossible. Ultimate comes through with another chance. Pull out a pistol clutch. It's a one-on-one. And this time he gets it done. Redemption for that first round. And Liquid, they at least get a leg to stand on.
Another pistol round, another ultimate 4K. But like you said, this time he shines and pulls through on the clutch. 1v2 and caught in a crossfire, but sometimes all you need is a little belief and dualies in hand. Blitz missed a whole lot of shots. Was even trying to harass, I think, MOUZ at the start of the post plant. From that van position, small crack angle, you can see into window. Not great for pistol rounds. But ultimate is. This is where Liquid fans simply pray they don't lose to the Force Spy.
Liquid fans have been simply praying for a while. I don't know if God has chosen not to answer them for now. It seems a little bit troublesome. Ultimate already dinked down to 44. He's lucky that's only Tech 9. And nothing more.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid are down that man. I mean, with the kill into window so early, MongolZ know that that will kind of segment the players between the bomb sites. So they're just grouping, collecting, and hoping to hit B.
It's Flasek, it's a window smoke out, and now it's time to rush down onto the site. Naf hoping to divert the attention away. Naf comes through with two big ones, and as it leaves, now reveals he's out of magazine space. There's also Ultimate and MOUZ who are out of life, completely mowed down. CobraZero continues to perform 16 and 6, and with Elise now finally with that fresh mag, he's just going to be casualty number 4. CobraZero doesn't care about your goddamn pistol rounds.
He's styling on him. I mean, 17 and 6 or 4K in this round. Dinked up ultimate from long range earlier on in the round. And then this play into market is just devastating. Recovery on that open, finishing off the job. I told you the fans were hoping they wouldn't lose to that. And lo and behold, they have. Man like CobraZero. He's had his role swapped around a couple of times, kind of event to event, especially on maps like Mirage. I think it's been the most noticeable. Blitz has tried to step away from being this entry space-taking in-game leader. That's why people will look at his stats and go, wow, people think this guy's a fragging in-game leader? Well, he's actually trying to shift the conversation a little bit to his actual stars. But Cobra's sometimes felt a little off-tempo, maybe not finding his fit into what he can provide for the MongolZ.
Ultimate just jump spotted into 3 players. Flashes overhead, he doesn't know what to do. He's calling for reinforcements. Please, somebody help me. And Elise does oblige. Naf comes in to steal away the kill. And Ultimate, who's looking for the AK, picks it up. Now with the chance to defend. MongolZ have already lost 3. Liquid give back as good as they get. And it feels like they're getting frisky over on this B-bomb site 9-10. We'll also end up conceding the AWP. This is a ton of weapons taken forward off of this Force Spy, rather even, Force Spy win from Team Liquid.
Yep, it's a back and forth to start things off. Pistol for Liquid, force buy for the MongolZ, and a force buy right back for Liquid. They're back. And back at it again. Great shots by Naf, providing that support at distance, because Ultimate was in a pickle. He jump spotted 3, but he didn't actually have players that could make that fast rotation. They were too busy trying to deal with that middle presence. Quick responder. And he answered that call. Ultimate, once again, jump spotting and seeing Blitz inside of the underpass, but it's a fairly vacant mid-control from the MongolZ. They just plant Mizinho top middle. And they look to reset the round.
MOUZ is looking for information. He's got Shui by his side. Clearing out A main right now is a good move, but going further is opening themselves up to risk. Now, there's no one on the other side, but I'm surprised that they're exposing themselves this much, because now Cobra Zera lies in wait. The Deagle avoided. Elijah's been called back over to the A site to try and provide assistance. So if they want to have these 2 players over in Palace circle back and come in from behind, well, that's not going to be an option. Blitz's AK-47 is supposed to be coming in with a quick kill, but continuing to spray is not going to work. It gives space for 910 to frag in and frag out, but Mizinho now left in a 1-on-3 with barely any time. Moves past the flames, but there's still the fire to deal with on the A site. That is MOUZ hidden away behind default box. Waiting and looking for a peek, but with Ultimate covering off, the cross information is given over. Shuhei insurance scheme. And he's finally struck through 3 and 13, but he's happy to collect wherever he can.
Yeah, I guess Liquid are back, because now they reset the economy here for the MongolZ. Don't have to worry about another force buy. A chance to bridge the gap. And a chance for Ultimate to show us what he's made of on that AWP. I would say the opportunities have been fairly limited so far in the second half. Shuhei assertive on the mid-control. Deep nade. Jumps to Khan following nade from Ultimate. No one on the receiving end really here for the MongolZ. Unlosable round here for Liquid.
Let's not say
full
that.
Glocks. No flashes, no util, no nothing. Not even a P250.
Unlosable round here for Liquid, guys, please.
It's a 1-for-1 exchange against Glocks. M4 recovered now here for Blitz. 3 looking to fight from top Khan.
Shuhei takes a dink over here as well, but they will be able to calm things down. Cobra Zera comes in from behind and he snuck through and past. It's a real threat for Naflight. This is a headshot angle. You do not want to contest them with this. God, if Cobra had a Tech 9, this would have been a very different story, but that's not the case. 910 will just be moving back with the M4. He does have the bomb, so in a strange world where he's able to get the jump onto Ultimate, maybe he could have gotten the plant, but instead looks for the cross through. No one is watching short for now. There is a timing where he creeps all the way in. Now he's been spotted though. And with his reveal, 15 seconds, Naf hidden away. He's got nothing to do other than just try and deny this bomb. And, well, planted or not, 910 will be taken down. Decent damage,
yeah.
But Naf staying alive does actually end up mattering a lot.
An unlosable round. Nicely handled by Liquid. Not nervous at all. Was anybody. Decent mileage out of those Glocks, though. I have to say, the MongolZ did a fairly good job of causing havoc. They just can't make it easy on themselves ever.
Yeah. It's something in sports that's very important, which is considered regulating your sort of how focused you are even in the downtime. That's what Liquid does. They make sure that they have to stay focused even in the anti-eco rounds.
Sure.
Yeah. That's why Ultimate can hit shots like that.
There's something to cortisol maxing, I suppose.
Well, that's certainly helpful.
Yeah, nice use of the... Well, that's... I don't know if we call that a bug or what, but it is a thing that exists. You can see just a pixel that turns a different color when a player passes by behind that smoke. MOUZ using that to great effect. Finds the kill. Techno does find one back. MOUZ and Shuhei, though, will clean up the mess here on this A-bomb site. 8th round here for Liquid. That gap now just becoming 2. The Mongols will be worried. They've only found 1 round, and that was the pistol on this T side.
Counter-terrorists win.
Mongols have not come into this without investment. This is going to be a round where they're still certainly hoping to put a stop to Liquid's momentum. Because if anyone had told me this was the 9-3 half and then Liquid failed to convert on the pistol round, I would have said this game's already over.
Yeah, probably should have been.
Ultimate. Light might not be enough as MOUZ is being forced away. It's a good flashbang that allows Cobra0 to trade, and now with the missed shot from Ultimate, it comes down to Shuhei. Elige finds 910 is on the lurk. And Blitz is just trying to make his way over, get a bomb plant, and Shuhei has a chance of lining this up, and with the incendiary that hasn't spread through, the bomb can be planted. Blitz and Cobra0 now just Blitz left alone. This is really nothing he can do over here beyond maybe find one more kill, and even that evades him. And Legion company swarm through, and when 910 gets taken down without finding any impact on the lurk, that round already had become more difficult.
Yeah, once again, the Mongols putting a lot of pressure there onto Liquid. They get a whole lot of room. They get the entry they need to. They get a plant in, which is going to further reinforce this buy. I mean, they would have had a buy regardless. They've been struggling so far on this T side, so already at that max loss bonus. But I wouldn't be too thrown off here if the Mongols actually tried to play a pacey gun round. See how much it creates this chaos here for Liquid that they have to be just constantly on their toes, and there have been some struggles in making sure they have the dexterity to do that. But this game is falling away from the Mongols. They see the pieces performing in those Team Liquid jerseys. Weird Molotov thrown by Mazzinho. Didn't land to the underpass and didn't land into connector either. So Ultimate is going to continue fighting from here.
Interesting. He just drops over his smoke so that Blitz can switch out positions with him. Feels a bit risque.
Yeah, was a little bit of a risk, but no one actually actively peeking anymore on Liquid side, so they get away with it.
Blitz is really asking for that lurk position over here. And it sounds like this where he has to perform a waterfall output with his missed smoke on connector. This is going to be disastrous. They move forward. They're able to spot out MOUZ, but all they see is their death firing back. Shuhei, another 1-for-1 leads it into a 2 versus 2, and the connector smoke being arrived will not matter all as much as you thought it might have. A flash from Mazzinho might still need to go through, but the Molotov he's recovered is really the important part of this. He can't drop down in time to deploy it, finally being given a bit more space. Nafla and company will be cordoned away, and with the molly spreading just deep enough to get the cross through, the bomb can be planted. Shu has been late to go on a rotate back into CT, so they're going to have to come in from connector as well. And what a shot from Mazzinho, ripping heads off, spotting elbow Shuhei. It's another one for Mazzinho, coming through with a critical double. Liquid will not be allowed to equalize.
I can't believe he even risked that. Mazzinho caught the angle just as he was rotating away from the bomb site. He saw that there was a player inside of jungle, honed on that position, just staring at default. He went back for the fight, decimates Nafly. and then just continued to keep on swinging. I mean, it's a very brave, very bold move there from Mizinho. Could have been round losing had he just died to Naf's AWP. But that's the bravado of the MongolZ. That's the confidence you actually need out of Mizinho as well. Sometimes this MongolZ roster can shell up. Mizinho can feel less impactful. Techno can struggle to get involved. And especially when they're trying to bed in a Cobra Zera that has had pretty good highs, but also some pretty bad lows as well. Leading by example to think that Mizinho is one of the veterans of this MongolZ roster now.
Don't call him that. He's too cute to be a veteran.
Yeah, he's also just, I mean, he's 18 years old, so.
Yeah.
Cobra Zero was one of the rare cases where they picked up a player and it wasn't actually just like the youngest player added to the team.
Yeah, the first time that Mara didn't find a player out of daycare.
Guys, trust me, we can mold this guy to something brilliant.
But he's 20 years old. How can you mold a 20-year-old? It's not possible.
He hasn't experienced enough life yet.
Bomb out on Palace for Cobra
The
Zera.
MongolZ.
Yeah.
Dry spell over. And hopefully more to come. The money is teetering on the edge here for Liquid. They'd have another buy, perhaps, but it would have a shortfall or two.
Yeah, you're expecting to see an early save from them if they're not putting themselves into winning ways on time. AWP is out towards the B bomb side and it's been left alone. They're considering playing 4 rifles over at A, which would be the right call for the situation they found themselves in. But right now, Cobra, who's been locked out of the bomb site, is going to be relying on this push through connector. It's 2 already into the site, and MOUZ is caught off guard. Naf traded away immediately as well. It's Shue who is the surprising equalizer, but Elite is able to contain. Finally, 910 makes his way over, and his impact has been a bit more limited over on this T side, but with the bomb in the ground, it needs to be boundless. No time left for him to move. Ultimate makes his way over, and in through jungle will shut him down. Elige, that extra man, that 4th rifle that MongolZ just weren't ready for.
Yeah, I mean, they got the rotates there in time. Ultimate was very far away from the rest of the gang while they're defending that A bomb site. But when it comes down to this 2-on-1, able to pick off the final piece. Cobra did really, really good, actually, to found these trade kills. Had to put himself at risk, given that he was the bomb carrier. But Elige just playing around that smoke at triple. Doing the Lord's work. 10th round here for Liquid. Ultimate starting off with an opening pick. So that's the A lurk in Techno dealt with. The map will shrink here for the MongolZ if they don't decide to reset and reinvestigate the A play.
Ultimate and Shue are hoping to collapse in on versus Mizinho and 910 up ahead. I mean, Mizinho being the first guy to take the peek with the bomb, and there's no flashes, no nothing to help out. This double up is just going to rip them to shreds. Blitz will just be moving back over, trying to ricochet his way to save.
This is exactly what you wanted to see. Ultimate was having... I mean, he wasn't having the most impact on T side because all the rounds were kind of blown up before he could really get involved with the AWP. But he was hitting shots when given the opportunity, and he's still hitting shots now that he has a chance to play out these CT rounds with that AWP. He's hitting the important ones. 3K here where nobody could even really fire back at him. He reacted quickly. 21-9 is Roland from Poland. And it will be a tie game. The MongolZ in a set of dire straits. This T side has not been what they had hoped. I wish I just had a leaked team comm from a timeout from Mara, just to understand his vibe.
He does look
a
very
translator,
chill,
but
as well.
that's just kind of the Mongolian demeanor from what I've seen.
I don't know. We saw some boisterous boys over there.
Yeah, there are, but that those types of people exist everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just about the overall percentages of.
Yeah, like shout out Jay-Woo, boisterous as hell.
Yeah, be chill.
Yeah. 11 aside, and Liquid are hoping this isn't going to be a football match, as they're trying to sprint through to the finish line.
And let's also not underplay this. This will feel like a choke for the
Just
Mongols.
peeks out from Palace. Michael takes down MOUZ immediately, and he's traded. But look at the chaos he's putting out under the CT side. 9-10 thinks he can move in. Wasn't ready for ultimate in CT, and Mazinho's the next to fall. This is not how dominoes are supposed to go down. He took down a CT player. Why are the dominoes going the other way?
This is after the Mara timeout as well. They get just picked apart around the map. Sure, Blitz gets the opener, but they're spread so thin, I think because they wanted to try and stress the defense, and Blitz is the only one that comes away with the kill that he aimed for. So, let me repeat again. Let's not underplay this. 9-3 half for the Mongols. Pistol round taken in the second half. 10-3 was the scoreline.
Yeah, they lost the pistol, but they won the
Team
first one
Liquid
even better.
I'm sorry, it was 9-4. 10-4
10-4
was the scoreline.
Even better.
10-4. Yeah, 10-4 was the scoreline. And Liquid are the ones that reach map point first.
And remember, Liquid is the team that even their diehard fans think that, hey, this is a team that's probably going to have to shake things up a little bit after this season. MongolZ on the other side, look, we can say they're betting in Cobras here, this, that, the other. It's been a lot of betting. And Mazinho right now, he's been put to bed in the worst way possible. 5 versus 4 to start things off. Liquid in favor and in the right positions as well. MOUZ, now that he's switched over to anchoring this A site, has been so much more impactful, and that impact might not be needed. Ultimate and NAF, the double ops, who have found their way into another kill apiece. Leave 9-10 and Blitz alone, fending off what seems to be an inevitable win on Mirage for Liquid.
Simple shot from NAF. And 9-10, this is an inevitability. NAF might not hit that one to follow, but he will get another chance at it. A 13-11 win here for Liquid. They have to go through the ringer. A comeback here on map 1 in the series. This was their selection. They opted for this Mirage, and it wasn't looking pretty for a while, but on that CT side, they rally behind an ultimate that's hitting shots and just a squad that are swinging off of one another. They had to work extra hard.
This herd at worst. Instead, you're seeing them struggling against what, frankly speaking, has been a bit of a disappointment for the circuit more often than not. On a Mirage, they should have closed, and now coming into an Inferno where we don't know what face we're going to see. MongolZ doesn't get away with, hey, but oh, this is like the rank 8 team in the world. This is still one of the best teams at this tournament. They are still absolutely a real contender to win the whole thing, or they should have been.
Yeah, and the critique for the Mongols is often levied at them, usually when they're playing against the best teams in the world. Not a Liquid that are in not necessarily free fall, but have been progressively kind of worse over time. This is a surprising position to be in. Liquid a map up by the skin of their teeth. Big comeback on Mirage. 13-11 finish.
Yeah, Cobra looks
there.
like he just went up 4 passport ratings in the past week.
Yeah, we had this happen yesterday.
Yeah. It's 2 players left on the A-bomb site. And it's Naf and Elige. Both of them had a very good performance. And to the CT side of Mirage.
It's a good gap being found here by the MongolZ. It's a 3-2 split between the A and, or rather the B and the A bomb sites. Elige out in the open and caught both players at A full very rapidly. And so the MongolZ take the A bomb site, no problems whatsoever. Contacting up long and catching the gap. Liquid have nothing to say or nothing to offer up, even on the retake. And just like that, the MongolZ are back.
There's that T-side round they've been asking for so long.
Yeah, I just wish it happened on Mirage.
I saw get picky about it. The one thing that we obviously haven't discussed too much about is also map number 3, right? And while we wait for Liquid to say goodbye in the pistol round, Nuke will be the decider. And as much as I actually think Liquid have a chance of 8-2-0 this, I don't think they have much of a chance to 2-1 this. Inferno will be critical for Liquid, and they know it as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that Nuke, even against some of the best teams in the world on that map, MongolZ can make it very, very hectic, hard to read, incredibly awkward. And that's really what the MongolZ do best, is that they cause teams a lot of discomfort because they don't necessarily play the most on-meta Counter-Strike. They've got a few rounds that they like to dart in here or there to just keep teams on their toes. But their bread and butter is actually leveraging some of the player positions and player experience to make a play or two. And that Nuke is one of the best maps in the pool, really, to do exactly that.
That spots him out, but a jumping Mazinho will quickly deal with ultimate. Elige is good to trade, but unfortunately there's no more kills for him to find. MOUZ will also be traded away. The CTs being split up across the map will have to go their separate ways, but as Elige starts to rotate over to see if he can reunite with Shu, he leaves a very lonely Naf in A.
Yeah, a lot on Naf's plate. He's gonna limit his risk, opting to chase things out towards long. Oh god, gets caught quick switching just as he gets exposed to a couple players. Fallback flash, but leaves access to CT spawn. And so they're gonna try and pinch back into the B bomb site, but they're out in the open. This truck is providing a lot of coverage, but they line up for Cobra. Bomb dropped inside of CT spawn. And while Cobra moves back to recover that, Naf will try and capitalize on the timing, but it's being covered for. And Cobra Zero will even dip back in for a third. A 3K from Cobra. That good form from Mirage, carrying forward in the early stages of Inferno.
Good to see.
Yeah, he's a player that can be a little up and down for the MongolZ, getting him to be consistent. He has been seeing stable improvements, sort of event to event. Maybe we won't talk about the Astana stats. That's not really like an improvement, but
It's okay. Everyone has one of those. MOUZ? Well, that's a good shot to find. Techno thought that with a foot spotted, he'd be able to get a quick kill onto a pistol and nothing more. MOUZ came through with a bit of a body built up pistol, and with Liquid losing another, maybe it's time for MongolZ to reroute over to A, where only Ultimate lies in wait.
well, that's kind of unfortunate for him. Happy they didn't keep progressing inside the apartments. And so caught his back and then catches his head. So it's now just about loss mitigation here for the MongolZ. Don't take too many extra casualties. Naf is left at the sandbags, and Cobra taps him out. Another 3k here for Cobra. This time against the Ecos, but given how quickly there was an advantage found here for Liquid, MongolZ will just be glad it didn't result in any further deaths.
Well, certainly a possibility. God, somebody give that chicken a break. Maybe that is what I am. More goes up 3-0, but now Ultimate brings out the AWP, and this is where we get to see whether his form was temporary or series-wide. I think that might be the bigger question coming out of Mirage. It's still a map where he has had some good pop-ups on Inferno. He's no stranger to it.
What I'm most looking forward to is these proactive steps that Liquid will likely take on the CT side at some point. For now, it's playing with in-bomb sites, trying to find the right timing for counter-util over towards top banana. They'll re-block off that half wall and retake it. But that's when you've got MOUZ in his element, being aggressive from top banana. That can be where he really thrives, but challenging around the smoke, he just gets spammed. The MongolZ will pounce off that.
And Chewy is dead already as he tries to beat the smoke, and Lee is left alone, and he's not left for long. Swarming onto the B-bomb side, Liquid feel like they have maybe forgotten what it felt like to be on Mirage and winning every CT round.
Yeah, they just get ran over. It's another 3k, this time a different person. First 3 kills of the map here for Techno. And he whipped over for a couple of kills, entering that B-bomb site. First time challenging past that smoke. Of course, he got the spam onto MOUZ actually as the first proper kill, but breaking into B. Even got caught off by the player new box, but didn't matter. Adjusted to the head very rapidly. So not the fine form that Liquid were hoping to carry into the second map. Just a risk. Maybe I leave this one there for MOUZ. Now, there are other teams that, in similar conditions, would kind of play in a similar spot as well, but they maybe would have coupled it with a few flashes, an HE or something to really make it uncomfortable. And if they tank the HE, MOUZ gets away with a couple bullets downrange, maybe finishes off a frag and falls back. There isn't those added layers there for Liquid. But you can't use all the resources. As much as Counter-Strike is a tactical game, you carry so few, 4 nades each. Maybe a 5th one if you're being cheeky and dropping extras and spawn and have the extra money.
Yeah.
So not every play can be perfectly facilitated.
Liquid would really like to deal damage to the T-side economy over here, though, because this is getting to critical mass. If MongolZ wins a clean round here, they basically have money to buy for the rest of the half. Liquid will never have an easy round. And it's maybe difficult to set that as your objective when you're down 0-4 and you're supposed to be down 0-5 at the end of this.
Sometimes you just gotta set small goals to reach big ones. Get some kills first. Then we'll talk about rounds.
Yeah. And for Shuhei and Ultimate and Naf, get a kill has been kind of that smallest goal they can possibly set 0-3.
Set small goals.
Yeah. Flashbang to force Shuhei away. He will be nestling inside the site, but a 1-for-1 trade. Blitz with the HE to do the job will lead the MongolZ back over to that B-bomb site. Now listen, Naf is boosted up. This is a good position. This is the best you can hope for with that saved A4. They don't have a Molotov. They don't have anything of the sort. And he will find himself the initial kill. Has one more body to bait out. And with a flashback to help, maybe MOUZ can get something done. Instead of all of those maybes materializing, it's Ultimate who comes in from the side, and Cobra Zero, who's completely forgotten about the existence of Banana, will be reminded in the quick fruity entry in from Ultimate. Now 2 versus 2. 910 is low.
Position.
This is certainly doable, but 910 coming in from the back lines is the real problem. As soon as he peeks, Zinnia will give him information. 910's HP is a non-factor.
That is a beautiful reposition there from 910. He's the planter, and by throwing that flash to the opening to the B bomb site, he slinks in through that coffin smoke and just takes CT spawn control. Bit of a gamble that they were going to be doubled up in that position, flanking in from Banana. But without that, Mizinho was in a bit of a pickle playing from the back of the bomb site. Another MongolZ round, another 3K.
Fortunately for Liquid, though, they do at least deal some damage out to the MongolZ economy. So if you can start to make this the start of your campaign, then maybe there's something to do about it. MOUZ, that is fantastic. Instant double coming in through the smoke, refreshes out on his own utility. And while Cobra Zera might have a flash thrown to help him, it's Elise who's being given a kill for free. 5-on-2. Not only are Liquid likely to take away their first round, they're about to do it in style.
That's exactly what I wanted to see from Liquid. It's exactly what I tried to set up earlier on. You know, just deeper util, more forward play there from MOUZ, and he just has a field day at the top of Banana. Can be a really strong position from him. And really just good heads up from Elige to know that when they're down members, the MongolZ love walking smokes. Chance for more kills at B, but it won't be MOUZ that finds them. It'll Shuhei and Elige right behind him. For Liquid's first round, they just completely stop any early plans from the MongolZ from happening.
Exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if you saw this or not, but this is my first time seeing it in the HUD, or maybe I just missed it before. If the player has no extra magazines left, it pops us this like little red ammo thing next to their name. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually haven't noticed.
Yeah, MOUZ had that in the previous round.
It's already rare enough that players are actually running out of ammo, so...
Yeah. Never been a consideration I've had to think about before. Reinforcement on the A bomb site is well placed. Elige and Ultimate are supposed to be the 4 extra hands they need to keep MongolZ increasingly honest. But as much truth serum they might be trying to pump into their guns, it is still MongolZ who have bluffed them out and go back to B. And this could be a very good timing to hit.
Shuhei does have some counter utility he can throw. MOUZ playing from the second oranges. Have to time this right. Smoke just about fading. Shuhei will throw it out and lands right in the nick of time. MongolZ caught behind that incendiary, but Molotov down deep, but MOUZ has struck in from that second orange's position. Shuhei flying over the top of coffins, traded immediately. And while Ultimate tries to pick them on the cross, no smoke into CT spawn to make the journey. Neither take a bullet. 3-on-3 for the post plant.
Elige is going to be off on his timing by the time the rest of the team is able to get involved. 910 is watching out. He does spot out one. It's a quick adjustment to the second, and with Naf going down, Elise can really only try and play containment. A Molotov out towards Coffins. And Elise knows that his job right now is to continue to deal damage. MongolZ should not be able to get anyone out to safety with the bomb radius as high as it is. And Ultimate watching out in for the CT cross through. Only one to survive will be Blitz. And he does well to keep the op.
Yeah, doing damage to that economy. You talked about it earlier, but the MongolZ were getting towards critical mass, I think is how you put it. And if they weren't taking casualties, continuing moving forward in these rounds, then they would just be able to continue buying. That's a little unfortunate for Ultimate. He was getting ready to set up for flashes and got caught without his ult ready to trade out 9-10, because if he had, they'd probably still play out that 2-on-2 for an actual retake.
Nice kill from Blitz to start off with a death on Ultimate. That AWP that he worked so hard to save, as well as MOUZ's life, are all going to be forfeit. And well, while you're at it, why not add a little bit of pepper spray into Shuei's eyes? A Liege finds another instance of Mizinho trying to sneak out over into A. But with true Halo, Blitz having spotted him out. This feels like an impossible situation for him to be in. Molotov will chase him down and get the kill as well. 4 versus 2. And both sides feel like they're an easy bet to lie down and get some sleep in.
Well, Naf gets mollied out of position. Dodges the flashes, but switching out to the HG. Blitz is looking to take some room and space. They line up for the spray down, but he doesn't finish off the second frag. And it's a Liege that looks to find a timing in from behind. 9-10 just going back to clear that one out, and he'll find the head that he needs to. Ult recovered. And a 7th round here for the MongolZ. Things are going swimmingly. Talk about a lack of T-side success coming away from map 1. It's pretty much all successes here on the MongolZ map pick.
And outside of the round where MOUZ just gets a double kill through the smoke, have Liquid found openings in any of them?
They found an opening kill via MOUZ against the SMGs in the second round.
All right.
That's the only one that I can remember.
All right, so yeah. Well,
I'd say the second kill there for Blitz is actually just so well crafted. They know there's that smoke down. Blitz blows it open with the HE, and it's timed perfectly with a flash thrown in support by Techno. Second player at Banana didn't stand a chance.
Liquid will be able to bring together a buy as a result of saving that loss. And 9-10 with the AWP is hoping to put them through the test again. Techno brought down with a early boost from Elise, and as MOUZ continues to aggress forward, the pressure out from grenades will force MongolZ to cede ground. Now, it feels like Mizinho is the only player who can find a play to be made in this round in a 3 versus 5. Liquid will at least be able to eke out a bit more success.
Yeah, I thought they'd only get away with 1 kill there, but it's really positive they did. Another spam kill there for MOUZ. Just tracing that smoke that's thrown at his feet. And it's seeming like the win condition is get MOUZ a double kill from Banana. Yeah, they tanked a lot of retail damage, so they need to find that one opening pick, and it just kept on getting better for them. And that will continue that way. Ultimate dealing with Mizinho. Mizinho's not had a great deal of success in these lurks and attempts through smokes, finding timings. But it'll be a clean sheet here for Team Liquid. Second round on the board. Once again, it's that aggressive Banana control that reaps rewards. That would be a fairly logical thing to think, okay, the only rounds that the Mongols have lost have been when they've tried to go B.
Yeah.
Will they go away from it? No, they just nade stack the hell out of it, and Shuhei hits the deck. MOUZ only survivor on what was 2 that started alongside him over at Banana. They just steamroll through them with good utility. The Mongols should just crack into this B bomb site. Ultimate spotted as that close rotate. But Liquid knows just as well as we do that this is a terrible position to find themselves in. And it should be a done round. What a call from the Mongols to nade stack that.
They don't have a choice of saving here either. Mazinho's coming in from behind. And as long as this bomb can stay alive, I mean, Liquid are going to think, oh, the pressure's on the Mongols to perform, but that's really not true. Ultimate's already dead. And now Nav suddenly realizes the world is closing in on him. Peeks out and forward. It's 8 on the board for the Mongols. And Michael, listen, Michael, you know, you're not quite as traveled as me. You're not quite as cultured as me. You know, I've been to Mongolia one more time than you. I'll have you know, I think I've got a better understanding of them as a people than you, Michael.
Okay.
You're saying they need to dodge their problems. They think they need to kill their problems. It's a mentality difference, Michael. That's all there is to it. We have problem on B, blow it on.
Well, I was gonna say, if Liquid decide to not play 3B, I wouldn't have blamed them. You know, a lot of teams would adapt or move away.
They did adapt.
Yeah, they did adapt, but they didn't move away. So they don't go aggressive top Banana this time here on the side of Liquid. They instead post ultimate up on the angle, hoping to punish. Blitz Jiggle
A little jump scare.
does spot it. That is a little spooky. This will be one of the many variations they would have seen from Liquid coming into today's game. So start to explore the brackets. Elige tucked in the cubby behind a smoke, but smokes are not walls. Could be a timing here for Elige.
He's certainly hoping so, but with all 5 players in brackets, surely someone's going to be watching out for him to push while Blitz goes into the side. Shuhei and Naf are setting up a great crossfire. Shuhei doubles up, and with Naf adding another to the tally, Elise now becomes that hidden Viper, allowed to strike through. 9-10 peeks back, outspots his body, and with that, it's a Molotov to dissuade. Knows it should still be a long rotation back, so it gives him time to reposition. And with the A4, that might be the weapon for the job, but he's not moved away from the bomb site. Elise certainly doesn't know that, but Elise speaking out from the perfect angle will find himself another freebie. Great hold from Shuhei and Naf, but it's a nice topping from Elise to bake up this cake.
Yeah, took his timing, and as soon as his teammates took contact inside the site, oh, MOUZ is... he's just killed him for the defuse. We're playing for in-game MVPs. MOUZ might have stolen that one. But yes, this was a good crossfire. Good play off of one another. They kind of anticipate what's coming. They don't get caught off guard by the fact that Mongols are essentially contacting into the bomb site. Ah, that's what MOUZ was doing. Why didn't he just tell him to get off the defuse and pick up the kit?
Well,
maybe he did, and Ultimate just was like, nope, I'm gonna get the defuse, I'll pick it up afterwards. Does it actually matter the order of operations? Probably not. So, a little bit of a silly mistake. Doesn't have any direct consequences, fortunately enough for MOUZ. So it will be a full buy here for Team Liquid, hoping that they can eke out a 4th round. Mongols have Tech 9s. And a couple of players. Blitz and Mazinho down to those weapons. Cobra on a Galil. alongside Techno. So only AK on the field is in 9-10's possession.
Liquid have players in the right position. It's a good read. And Elige is going to be in the exact same position, but they catch out Shuhei and Elige. You can have the numbers, but if they're on the ground, does it matter? MOUZ forced a double again. Nap hidden away behind the smoke, but he's gone. A flying Tech 9's coming out at him, and he's lost his teammate as well. 9-10 gets his own double kill, and that leaves Ultimate in a 1-on-2. Blitz with the Tech 9 is yet to recover a weapon, and in his process of trying to find one, he could have fallen, but Ultimate's over in apartments. 9-10 isn't ready for this, but neither is Ultimate. Really comes out, immediate reveal, and AK recovered. Blitz has not been able to do the same, so suddenly he's the one in a disadvantage. Bomb not planted out for him, and Ultimate knows that, which is why he doesn't think Blitz is going to be out in middle. But by the time this bomb starts ticking away, it becomes more and more of a factor. He's still not on it. Blitz is creeping all the way through, and Tech 9 or not, it doesn't matter at that range. MongolZ will replicate their Mirage scoreline.
Oh my goodness. I mean, as if. They have 4 on A. Cobra gets a double kill out on long, and then even with MOUZ getting the 2 kills right back, dealing with one side of the split, they know that this is a 4A bomb site. Naf doing his damnedest from the pit. It's another big double kill from 9-10. I mean, this is just a circumstance that shouldn't have happened. They had the pieces in the right spot. They had the better weapons, but the MongolZ just catch them by surprise. That's what makes the MongolZ such a threat to every team in the circuit, is they can play a little unconventional. They play on timings, they group up, they play contact. It doesn't always work, but when it does, do you look like a fool? Small glimpses, small moments here for Liquid in this half, but not enough to mitigate the threats. And so they're going to have to make another comeback attempt. Another 9-3 deficit. They stare down. But more than likely, lightning won't strike twice in the same series.
That's the thing about lightning, Michael. You don't really know until you're suddenly really scared in the night, wondering why it's so loud outside. Liquid are known to cause some raucous noises. It could be crying or it could be celebration. And as they move on to this A-bomb site, 9-10 lies in wait. Well, that's absurd. 9-10 was fully blind for that one, and they've just ripped them to shreds. Still, Liquid gets a chance to fight back with their Molotov to help, but they've not got HP for this post plant. And they don't have the time that they normally would either. Blitz is flashing Techno forward. The dualies are out and about, but now they're on the ground, and Liquid, they might be able to fight back. Blitz in a headshot angle. Too many players to deal with. Can't get it done. Liquid, take away that pistol round.
I mean, extremely critical kill there from Shuhei, just as the smoke bloomed, caught, I think, a glimpse and dealt with that first player, making it and forcing it into this 1 versus 2 where Shuhei actually was able to play alongside Ultimate inside of the site. I am surprised that Liquid were able to crack through the A plays so couckly, especially with Mozinho inside of the pit. Him dying to the Molotov was, I mean, just kind of unexpected. Shouldn't have probably happened. But that's the first piece of the puzzle here for Liquid. Now, as I said on Mirage, they just have to hope they don't get force bought. They failed that test on the first map.
Damn.
Hey, they still made the comeback, so in some weird way, I guess they worked out.
All right, guys, time to lose to the force buy so you can come back.
Yeah, if that's the price you pay.
Good kill for Unleash Divine. Cobrazera trades away with Nafly and also gets good control over the apartments area. And with 9-10 striking through the smoke, they do lose a lot of life for those 2 kills, but they get a numbers advantage. Now, watch out for Techno. He's still going to be critical, and with 40 seconds left, the 5-7 seems all the more daunting. Cobra ducks down underneath the balcony. There's no Molotovs. There's not really a flashbang pathway over there to help you out over here either. And as Techno continues to jiggle, he's worried about what's coming over. Hides away. Cobrazera finishes off what Techno's already started. They can't get out of the balcony. There's no way forward. Techno just seals him out of this A side completely.
3 on 4. 2 players you know for sure are low. One of them rotated away. Techno was fresh. But jumping out of the apartments, does that really give you a fair run of the shop? Because they don't get an inch out. And they get decimated. I saw that brewing. I won't think it's a curious call, but lo and behold, lightning does strike twice. Just we'll have to see if the comeback happens too. Team Liquid winning the second half pistol and then losing to the 4 spy. It's one part of the sacred ritual completed.
But the question is the rain dance scientifically provable, or is this just a man in his underwear outside saying ooga booga until someone sends him to jail?
All right, moving on. Team
MOUZ.
Liquid. MOUZ is down. This is a force buy back here from Liquid, and they're not getting much ground. Naf is also gone. Down the smoke, Techno rather will be taken down by a Tech-9. And Ultimate's just covering for the flank because MongolZ are hot on their heels, but it's a little unfortunate. Just gets a glimpse at Blitz, then gets shot in the side of the head. Only kills this round coming through Elige.
He hears him coming in to check out for mid in case. Knows that there's a chance for a 1 versus 1. You really don't have a choice but to take it, and you will end up losing it out there. So MongolZ do feel like they have avoided the fate of Mirage, and Inferno should be, on paper, a comfortable close.
Yeah, not looking like that comeback's gonna start. Glocks, 2 HEs, and a Deagle. So Liquid bring into this, so the MongolZ are likely to move to map points. HE's already thrown down range to Banana, netting very little damage. And they'll get bombarded by HE's back. 3 land on the head of MOUZ. That's for all the times he got kills through smoke on CT.
To be fair, he did get bombarded by nades on CT as well. I feel like you've already got your vengeance for it. This might be overdoing it just a little bit. Nice crack angle peek, but Elige does one better. And it is going to be a recovered AWP. Cobra has been given that responsibility, and as Techno waits for the eventual Goomba stomp that he was always going to be offered up, it's a clean win for the MongolZ. Nuke seems inevitable at this point, and for Liquid, it's just about seeing if they can get a gun round out or 2 before they head over there.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it being a difficult sell, as, you know, maybe Liquid could win at 2-0. I was kind of with you there. Inferno is pretty solid sometimes. nuke has been questionable, as is that HE.
More air pollution than damage.
Yeah, there's a lot of HEs that missed the mark, but a lot of tag damage has been done to Liquid, even in spite of that.
And that makes the B-bombs all the more difficult to get. Techno with the Farmers finding 2 big ones, and Blitz felt like he could follow up, but instead he's given up that B-bomb site. Double smoke out towards CT is certainly not going to help, but CobraZera can't trace anyone through the smoke. Incendiary picked up, and the Molotov also could have been used to try and prevent that bomb from being planted. Wouldn't have been deployed early enough. Mazinho. Smoke out at the back of the bomb site, hoping to take away one of the clear-cut angles that should be there, but it's re-smoked out onto CD. That'll force the MongolZ back, and where Liquid lose out 2 big ones, it's a return kill onto Blitz that gives them a 5th round.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake made by Blitz. I mean, he's caught quick switching, doesn't have his gun prepared for a fight that's just around the corner, and he's just a free kill. If he had his gun ready, at least give himself a fighting chance, but he was essentially a civilian that stood between them and the bomb site, so it's nicely done there from Liquid, capitalizing on that chance. Because the start of that top banana take wasn't going swimmingly. You know, half wall smoke, good flash from Blitz's support, Techno gets the double. The round really could have just disintegrated right before Liquid's eyes. But they spring at the opportunity, and so they keep themselves afloat. Cool boost. Hard shot to hit, but they'll tank the nade straight to the face. And Blitz will even stick around to see if he can land the shot, punished for that action.
Rotations from the MongolZ do start to come through over here, but it's Cobra's HE that I'm particularly interested in. 9-10 goes down over towards the A bomb set, and that means Cobra's HE is no longer going to be a factor. Mazinho will have to push through the smoke old school, and where Techno's found one that could be the distraction they need, but Mazinho's been watched out for. Techno will have to figure it out on his own, and with a Molotov behind him, there is no way to get those kills. 1 versus 3 for CobraZera. He regrets having moved back, but the HE overhead, can it do enough? No! It bounces awkwardly, otherwise Ultimate could have been taken down just with that. And now he has to put forward, take the duels, and honestly, it's Shuhei who's put at risk now. He's worried, he's scared, he's waiting for Naf to come bail him out. There's no Naf coming, he has to do it himself.
Oh my goodness. I mean, they do themselves no favors. A really nervy finish to that round. Had the nade connected. I mean, Ultimate tried his best to sort of dodge things out, but it bought enough time that the smoke faded. And then, like you said, they were waiting, hoping that Naf could come in on that flank to just alleviate that pressure, because it stood between just one duel, really. For it being a terrible outing. H-Stream update. 12-9 in favor of M80 over MOUZ. That would be a massive upset.
MOUZ, of course, winning map number 1, but even losing a map damage is not what they want.
Yeah. I mean, I guess not too dissimilar to our stream. Yeah. Winning the first map in the series. Not many would have expected that. 9-10 getting a little lost while full blind inside the apartments. Also not punished, so gets the incendiary and the smoke down. We can now opt to reposition.
Smoke out towards Divider. Giving space for Elise to lurk if he wants to, but this is more about giving him space to retreat. HE to pop open that smoke from 9-10 means that he might want to start rotating back over towards B, but there's a lot of utility available for B, and that could be, frankly speaking, fool's gold. That's a good grenade to start things off. Smoke gets thrown forward as well. They're going to need the incendiary behind it, but as MOUZ tries to scale over and out from underneath it, there's flashes all over the shop. Elise finds the kill on the Blitz through that flash chaos, and where there's still a player alive in the background, it's Techno with an MP9. Shuhei going out for the bomb plant. Techno spams him away, will not finish off the kill. That certainly could have been one way to get back into the round. Instead, they're going to have to get out of it. Are they still thinking of the commitment? Of course not.
Nah, yeah, this should be a save. They don't have the utility to break into the bomb site. Usually you want a smoke for the mouth of B, incendiaries for the back of the bomb site. At a minimum, one of those sets and some flashes. Techno moving in for some extra damage. And does achieve some of that, but he'll lose his life in the process.
So Blitz
wasn't quite enough.
Blitz does something there that Shui actually did in the first half as well, which is they're obviously so confident in the utility being able to stop the B bomb site from being taken over that they sometimes, and very often, players on the B site will just be overrun in their process of trying to throw it when there's 30 seconds left, just trying to throw out all their util left. Shuhei did this in the first half where he had an incendiary and he threw it immediately out for smoke, is dissipating, relying fully on that rather than responding to the actual stimulus coming over with flashes and whatnot and using it in that way. Unfortunately for the MongolZ, that could have been a open and shut case. Techno stays alive over there as well.
Well, Blitz also full sent it through the CT smoke. So
yeah, that's certainly not helpful.
Not an uncommon reaction from Blitz. Seen him get away with that many times. Seen multi-kills from it as well. But this was one of those instances where he ended up empty-handed and actually, I think, caught by the myriad of flashes that were thrown by both CT and T players alike.
I have a feeling that smoke's not supposed to be there, Michael.
Pretty aesthetically pleasing, though.
It looks pretty good. But MOUZ right now doesn't care too much about appearances. He's fine with splashing paint and blood across the walls of the B-bombs.
Hey, listen, been a bit inconsistent from half to half or even map to map, really, but when we get our POVs of MOUZ on his fights, the aim is there. There's some days where it's maybe a little off or he's over-flicking or overcompensating. He's pretty dialed in. It's about creating the right conditions for that aim to be put on proper display.
Mazinho's up to some tricky business. Really wants to find Naf on the lurk. Naf has often been annoying, and right now is going to be no different. He's already swept away. Mazinho thinks he's given space for Blitz to start rotating, but with 30 seconds, they know this is going to be an inevitable hit to come through on this B-bomb side. 9-10 already with one. Techno hides away. There's no Molotovs ready to deploy. No way to flush Techno out of this position, but he actually pushes himself forward. Elite is able to get the better of him because of it. 9-10 gets one more, but it is a 2 versus 2. Mazinho yet to reveal, but Ultimate's thinking about it. He's certainly thinking about it. He doesn't think long enough. Naf left alone. Everything to do. And a man associated with many clutches is going to have to come through for one more if he wants Liquid to have a chance over here. But as his ammo is running out, MongolZ will snuff him out. 13 found, and Liquid do well with the rounds they receive, but MongolZ are done giving it to them.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty open map for the MongolZ. Held a considerable lead, didn't fall too foul to the second half shenanigans, and this time they don't allow that Liquid comeback. On CT, they were put in some pretty poor positions, sometimes due to the aggression or the lack of awareness from... Honestly, to be honest, I think I would probably put most of that on Blitz, maybe just getting caught off guard and actually misplaying a few of his...
MongolZ has a pathway to that, but I don't know if they've put on the right shoes to even really start taking those steps yet. And that step up is going to be needed. For their credit, 910 continues to perform. He's still pretty good, and it's weird to me that he's considered the stability of this team, and once upon a time he was considered such a wild card, Michael.
Yeah, we're kind of starting to almost get to a point where we're dismissing the MongolZ as being one of the major threats within this tournament because they still sit within this lower bracket and with their tournament life hanging on a thread here in the series against Liquid. Last map in the pool for this series. Loser eliminated from the CS Asia Championships. Team Liquid starting T-side on Nuke. Outside crawl, smoke down, and with the flash that's thrown deep, they manage to cross on 4. There's a player already down. Naf lurking and loses his fight to Cobra. Techno inside of the vents gets flushed out, and the dualies end up empty-handed, but Blitz is hidden away in the lower site.
Blitz? Does he go completely overlooked? The bomb's being planted in a position where he doesn't have access to, but at least he could and should have gotten the kill immediately after. At least give space for Cobra Zera to potentially perform, but in a 1 versus 3 where he's got no options, he'll be shut down immediately. Techno staying alive there felt like a mandatory matter, and unfortunately for him, Elise just completely swings him clean.
Yeah, absolutely needed Blitz to find 2 kills on that lower side if they even wanted a chance to come back in on this retake. Well cleared out there from Elise. And Ultimate getting off to a solid start as well. 2 kills in that pistol round. All right, Liquid, don't lose to the Force Buy.
You're asking a lot from them.
It's happened twice already, so just don't lose to the Force Buy.
3rd time's the charm. Liquid are hoping that can ring true for them. It's an empty ramp room, and that's a good start, but the compromise on leaving ramp room empty does mean that Elite has to deal with 2 Blitz around and about. And Mazinho will trade. 910, a big miss, as that could have been a weakened member for Mazinho to take advantage of. He's still on the lower bomb side, has asked for support. Techno, as always, first man rotating down under. He needs some good Beagle shots, and he's just not landing them. Opportunities aplenty, but none of his shots feeling like they had any wish to connect.
All right, perfect. Just how you want your T-side to start. Win the pistol, convert on the second. Found the open runway they needed to get themselves into a bomb site, and that's job done. Some extra resources being salvaged here by Techno on his save attempt. Picked up that scout on the lower side, and a smoke to boot. Want to put that pressure onto the MongolZ. When they find a method of success, they're so good at hammering that and finding small tweaks. We saw that on Inferno. That banana area was hotly contested, but also largely won by the MongolZ. If they know that these players can shut down positions individually very early into this game, then that kind of confidence can carry the MongolZ through some of the tougher times ahead. Chance there for 910. Took a pot shot just as Elise was jump spotting out towards outside. So I know that scout is on field. A lot of bullets put through the wall of smokes, but not a single connection here for the MongolZ. So Liquid are down towards those secret steps. The MongolZ making a heavy rotation. 2 players already down. 910 in close proximity, still holding onto ramp. Oh, and the door's opened.
And the flames are in.
Know that there is some presence.
This could be a very fast 3-player setup over here. on the B-bomb site. And Liquid are disjointed. This bomb is here, sure, but your lurking presences could become liabilities, and that's exactly what happens there. Shuhei taken down. And now as the smoke is deployed, Blitz waits for them to start pushing forward. He'll have access to another easy free kill, and where Mazinho's found one of his own, it's not the force buys they had to worry about, it's the eco.
I can't even say I'm surprised. Simply disappointed.
We need to teach you how to lie, Michael. What's this? I'm surprised.
And disappointed.
And
Yeah,
that's
that's a real kick in the teeth. There for Liquid. Naf trying his best to save this weapon and will succeed in doing so. Dying after time would have obviously been sad. He has some floating cash, so would have been able to buy nonetheless, but having that extra weapon means Elige won't be totally shortchanged. And a timeout that's called immediately after that kerfuffle.
I don't know what you're saying to each other over there. I will add, I'm not the biggest fan of a 3-1-1 split when you're supposed to be going up against an eco. Just generally speaking, but that was going to fail probably regardless, considering the great setup that the Mongols end up having over there anyway.
Yeah, and they didn't make any, they weren't throwing any illusions or misdirection, really. Wall of smokes, outside presence, lower sight. Blitz spotted them on his jump peak out from the double doors, so got some confirmation on numbers. They knew it was a risk, and they still went with it.
Stream A update. MOUZ are, of course, up 4-0 in that third map.
Let's hope Flashy talks some sense into them. Proper gun round here for the Mongols. So they've got that AWP in 9-10's possession. Cobra Zera dealt with fighting towards door. So that's a key kill there for Naf to punish.
Well, he doesn't look very comfortable on the ground at all. Blitz is relying on himself to find a multi-kill over here. It is going to be another secret hit for Liquid. And Blitz can either sway them away or just knock them down. He backs off. This is terrible
His timing is
timing.
terrible.
Couldn't ask for better for Liquid. They will hear Blitz as well, and as they start to move away, Blitz has got no idea about how many players that could have been smoke or not. They could have been a player venturing through as well, but he'll move back to reinforce through ramp, and if he's closer to the A-bomb side, that's exactly what they need. Techno will be the primary defender. Mazinho from the back of the bomb site looks to be the late round guarantee. And with 20 seconds, 9-10 will stay around over in heaven. Shuhei, a backstab that could come true, but 9-10's already found the first. Naf out in the open, bomb on the ground. The flashbang had separated them, and 9-10 is feeling frisky over in heaven. Ultimate, last one standing, the only one able to get a kill on that onslaught. But my goodness, that was impeccable.
Yeah, we're busy thinking that this timing for Blitz is awful, but by him blocking in towards lower, they get funneled towards that top side. They don't want to brave the smoke, and they run right into the AWP of 9-10. Constantly aware of the fact he could get flanked from outside or ladder. Almost gets, I'm pretty sure he did get jump scared actually by Shuhei shooting up that ladder. But all the shots connect for 9-10. Down to pistols now are Liquid. Just a couple Deegs, the rest on Glocks. Not a lick of utility. Puts us in a great position to lap them up on outside. Actually revealing his position and throwing a nade in.
Maybe don't challenge them, Mazinho.
Okay. he's been scared off.
For the best.
Cobra wants a flashbang or something to help him out, perhaps. A lead nearby. Shadows enough to bait up the shots. Jump scare is going to be quickly prevented. Blitz is playing cover, and 5-on-2 is going to be the end of things. Cobra believes in a fair fight, and if he can't take his Kevlar off, well, he can make it a 1 versus 2 in some ways, speaking out repeatedly. 4 kills for him to get involved and get on the board properly.
Yeah, I do always love when those types of rounds occur because you can see the Mongols are almost... They laugh at some of the awkwardness that they find themselves in. You know, Messinho was a little uncomfortable in his position. Cobra also a little nervous about the drop from top main, but also being swung by the other side, even though he had a teammate right beside them. So they kind of laughed through the anxiety a bit. Oddly, the discomfort is where I see the most chuckles from the Mongols.
It's a nervous laughter in front of a principal.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
Hopefully just trying to get a smile out of Mara. Because when that guy's cheesing, usually the Mongols are winning.
Liquid are in a stalemate. They have no smokes left beyond 1 on a Liege. And they don't have outside control. There's only one place for them to go, realistically speaking, that's the A-bomb site. They're trying to substitute a wall of smokes with Molotovs out in critical places in junctions, but this is putting all the more pressure onto a Liege to try and make a move through. Cobra Zera is anticipating this push forward that is going to come out. He will spot them through. The timing's all bad, but Ultimate Fighting 2 was not on the cards. Unfortunately for him, no one else does. And where Shu is left alone, it's a 2-on-1. Messinho swings wide, and he's winning that every day of the week.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of options there for Liquid. You highlight it rightly so. Didn't have that deep position down towards lower. Didn't have the resources. They set themselves up for that A play, and they are relying on that double split from main, but they find the opening kills, but also Cobra's just in a spot. And with that extra reinforcements on that top side, he doesn't go cleared until it is far too late. All that chaos, it brewed, and it came to a tipping point. Ramp rush now here for Team Liquid. Here on the half-buy, Tech-9s are swarming, and Messinho doing his best to keep himself alive. He's called for reinforcements. There's that vent drop rotate in from Cobra Zera. But they see that Liquid have called it to a pause. And so this is actually a pretty astute mid-round here from Team Liquid. That A-bomb site will feel very uncomfortable. They're doubled up Hell side on the Mongols. I mean, the main pressure point will be Techno.
Let's come to help. That Smokes doesn't feel like it's going to be doing the most, but at least it adds a little bit of cover for Techno. Comes in with 2. Blitz popping open the smoke himself. Shui on the ground because of it, and MOUZ can't relay that bomb over. 9-10 never shy of swinging out, not since he's had those big rounds, and Elite is feeling a little bit boxed in. Claustrophobic.
Yeah, that fight has never felt so small. He's getting spammed from all sides. It's like he's trying to dodge a coffin as swords are coming at him from all sides. He did not volunteer to take part in the magic show. Mongols on a hot streak. Lost the opening 2 rounds of this map and have now won 5 straight. All started with that saved scout in 5-7. Otherwise an eco round here for the Mongols. And then they've just simply not looked back. This is a fake towards outside, but Mazzinho spots them just as they're trying to cross the gap and get close towards Mini. So they should be very aware this is likely to be an A-side split.
They've tried this before. Cobra's position different this time over, and Shui has successfully managed to get underneath them. 910 just has to make sure Elise doesn't take them down, and as he's now vacated Heaven as well, this is so much pressure onto the A defenders. Shui is about to take down the Hut player. There's no way of stopping him. He heard 910 backing away. That leaves CobraZera as the only player still alive. 910 has no access points available to the A side, and with CobraZera eliminated, it's a great round from Liquid, completely out-calling the Mongols in this one.
And 910 will lose his AWP. They go out on the hunt for it, and they will retrieve it. Yeah, really nice call from Liquid. They throw that wall of smokes, even with Mazzinho getting that information. There's no one actually that can move in to quickly react, and maybe even Liquid realizing that they got spotted, change their attentions to refocus towards getting that deep position towards Hell, and also investigating Garage. Because it was looking like a fairly linear decision. You know, get into the smoke in main, burst out, similar to what they had done before, just at a much earlier timing. Just by rerouting, Elite got his kill. And that extra patience, all while the Hell flank is brewing. Found more bodies to drop on that top site.
Nine10 is going for a play out towards lower, while Blitz himself is... Oh, that's a long-range spray duel that he's lost. Doesn't lose his life, but that's going to be Elise's job. Puts him down and away. Early loss, and 910 is hoping that he's the one who goes by unexpected. Elise does think about it, but 910's just too fast. What? Now peeks out and over beyond. MOUZ is on top of the Hut. Ultimate gets another for free. I cannot say I understand that decision making, but Mazzinho would like to at least have a conversation still about this round. He's just not given a chance to say very much.
What on earth is 910 thinking? Has someone made a call that's made him think that way? It looked like he thought outside was completely open. He got one kill and full sends it out from secret steps. That is considering how good of a game 910 has had so far this series, that is a crazy decision to make. I'm honestly a little stunned that that's how this round develops, because his pick out towards outside, that I think would have kind of stunned Liquid to a certain extent, but... And all these following peaks from the Mongols were far from the best. Still, Liquid have broke past that streak 2 rounds in a row now. And they've got the Mongols on the ropes. Might be that round behind, but funds have run low here for the CTs, and it's looking like this Team Liquid T side is going to muster together what they need from this attack.
Mazzinho is about to be challenged. Incendiary deployed. Shui immediately taken off, and Mazzinho didn't drop down. He can stick around. He's got 910 to give him company, and Liquid are certainly going to figure that out as well. The second they get the kill, they should know that if he's stuck around that long, they need to deal with an AWPer as well. 910, deep smoke out and backs away. He'll leave it up to Blitz, who's already down below the lower bomb site. Blitz has a good position. And for Liquid, who are already dwindling in numbers, clearing every angle out feels unlikely. And when they're lining up, Blitz should have gotten both. Not able to finish the kill on the ultimate means Liquid still has a chance, but it's the Snowball's chance in hell. How long can it stay frozen? Ultimate backing away. This round will very much be down to Elige, but if Ultimate can get a single kill and make it slightly easier, that's exactly what they're looking for. Single kill not found. Elige doesn't do the same either. It is 6 on the board for MongolZ. Right as they were at the whims of their economy, they're able to stabilize, and 3 alive means they're more than comfortable in the next round to buy.
Yeah, I mean, great opening kill from Mouzinho over at ramp, and 9-10 actually continuing his good form even after a very weird decision in the round gone by. Makes it very uncomfortable to continue progressing down towards that lower site, and that should have been a double kill for Blitz. It probably shouldn't have even come down to an afterplant for Team Liquid, because Blitz being on that lower site so rapidly, hard to say that any team would have anticipated that. Liquid get close, but not close enough. Round back here for the MongolZ. Spotted, going outside and pulling out the Molotov. 9-10 just simply peeks. And he'll keep on fighting out from the secret area. Cobra going 1 for 1 as Techno falls. And so it's a 3-on-4 right out of the gate here from Team Liquid.
Ultimate's had some decent moments, but he might be regretting that one a lot. Liquid need a bomb plot over here at the bare minimum. They've done so well to get to 4, but they really like to make it 5. And with Mouzinho taken down, they certainly have that option. MOUZ covers off the back as well. Blitz left alone. And where he missed out on a double kill earlier on, MongolZ, who found their way into an early 4v3. I really felt like this should have been their round. Shuhei, drop, MOUZ around the corner. Can't get the peek either. He is stagger stepping into Blitz's crosshair. And Liquid now will have their own money stressed and tested.
That's just exactly what you want from Blitz in a moment like that. Just a total shift up. Mouzinho being that last bastion on the A-bomb site, Blitz flanking ramp. Not his usual position. Hard to anticipate, and pulls the wool right over the eyes of Liquid. They had a chance. We're often looking at a 5-round milestone really to hit on this T side. But Liquid may be stumped. So MongolZ hold another significant half lead. Things will not look so pretty moving into the second, even if their T sides have not looked the sharpest. Individuals are showing up. Mouzinho full flash and dealt with over at ramp. 9-10 on that rotate, but Molotov'd off. So this time he can't equalize the affair and make things uncomfortable. But Blitz is already down lower, doing damage and just running right at them. Cobra right behind him from Decon, and a double from Cobra is just what the doctor ordered. Ultimate last man standing 1-on-3, but bomb all the way over at ramp.
This is why I say you have to deal with Blitz. That's the pain point you have to address on Nuke. Look at how dynamic he's been in these past 4 rounds. It's 8-4 for the MongolZ as they shut down Ultimate. But we've just seen Blitz be early down to the lower bomb site, nestled behind the silo once. We've seen him being outside looking for aggressive peaks before that. We've seen him now coming back down into this lower bomb site area, but pushing closer to the ramp to fight into 4 players coming. And the round before, the 1v2, he only gets that because they're literally checking everything. They're checking Heavens, they're checking Mini, they're checking Squeaky.
Yeah.
Blitz is everywhere.
How do you anticipate someone that's not in the same spot? Really ever. Incredibly dynamic from the in-game leader. An 8-4 half is more than enough really for a CT effort. But it will ultimately come down to pistol rounds. Liquid have been good on them. They maybe not been so good up against the 4 spies and the rounds after, but they've been good on pistol rounds. The MongolZ want a smooth sailing decider map to send Team Liquid packing away from the CS Asia Championships. A pistol round would go a long way. They had a 9-3 advantage moving into their T side of Mirage. They know how that one turned out. That was a Team Liquid victory in the end.
Yeah.
So you cannot rest on these laurels. No time to be complacent.
(9-10) primary threat taken down and out. Flash in their faces. Ultimate good for 1. Make it 2. Ultimate has been very good in the pistol rounds, but right now it's still 2 versus 2. Elige has to come through with a double kill. Hopes for a triple. Always been an overachiever. And he's hoping to not be burnt out from the middle of the hair. Corpusera 1-on-2, certainly possible, but when he's missing that many bullets, nah.
Yeah, snap decision as well from Liquid, you know, not trying to play his isolated fights or make him have to worry about a crossfire just to pick up that bomb, because I was actually dropped still at the entrance to the ramp room. They couple together and they just continuously try and fight him just to do what they can to trade. Nice shots from Elige. He thinned the herd and finished off the job as well. So there's Team Liquid again, striking in with a pistol round. No force buy from the Mongols. So I'm not sure how good I'm feeling about them not going for the force buy. They've been pretty successful at them. Flash burst with the Glocks. Unsure about how much mileage this will get.
Well, MOUZ shouldn't have gotten that many kills, considering how blind he was. But hey, it's Glocks, so it's all good. Liquid will be able to get as much as humanly possible out of an anti-eco, just keeping all 5 players alive. Having MOUZ be a little bit more comfortable as well coming into the CT side. He's going to be a player to watch out for.
Yeah, Shui providing some support while MOUZ was full blind. Certainly helped. First player did make it out. Had a chance to kill MOUZ while he was vulnerable. But not quite as easy as that. I'm just thinking. A couple more flashes. A couple of Tech 9s. Maybe there was a way. But Team Liquid brushing that one aside. The Mongols now in with a full buy. Now, eyes will be on Blitz. He can be kind of a make or break sometimes for MongolZ on this T side. Some of the lurking positions he puts himself in. The kills he finds on that outer yard.
One for one trade, and Ultimate makes it 2. Good to see him getting involved. You talked about how Nuke's a map where you would really hope that Ultimate can have his own pop-off moments. And with an AWP or not, the mobility he is afforded is certainly something you cannot underestimate. Naf. Little jack-in-the-box moment to bring it back to a 4 versus 2. MongolZ have said goodbye to their advantage pretty much as fast as they got it.
This is probably just one of those spots, unfortunately, where they just have to smoke and plant. They'll clear out the double doors, and MOUZ just tucking himself in. There's no one on this lower side. No one has a fast response. Naf is making his way on over, but he deals with Techno before that bomb even considers being punched in. This is a free plant, but a 1-on-4 that will be incredibly taxing for MOUZ to win.
Doors have been blown open. 3 players coming over from those stairs. MOUZ has a chance to look for a spray down. Nap is low. And with both players having utility in his hand, he could have swung by into Shui's aim, but it's still a 1-on-1 every time over, and eventually they're going to win one of them.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, with them both pulling util, I really did start to worry for Liquid there for just a moment. But Shui makes sure it doesn't get totally out of hand. First shot was nice from MOUZ, but hopefully they don't find themselves in too many 1v4s. That expecting total miracles to happen for either squad. Ultimate had, to kick off this series, almost had a 1vx of his own. He get everything off on Mirage. And I think completely followed through on Ultimate, picking things up over towards TYLOO, but 2 players dart down the vents here on the MongolZ. In fact, a third will join them, and they're audible on that rotation. Naf trying to keep things under wraps, takes a dink and will get finished off by Blitz, but not before he gets another one dealt with on that vent play. Blitz now trapped inside of the bomb site, commits to that plant. And 910 will try and support out from Decon, but it's a tough shot to hit, and he will not connect. Ultimate gets another. And so this fast-paced vent dive here for the MongolZ just gets the plant and a kill, but nothing further.
8-8, MongolZ feeling the pressure, and they don't have too many timeouts left. 910 will be able to pull out the AWP right now, and you'd hope, with a lot of emphasis on the hope, and he can be a pathway forward for them. He had a very good T-side opping experience out versus Bait earlier on. But even while that was going on, we talked about how, look, that's hard to replicate. On a map-to-map basis. MOUZ is getting aggressive. Over and out for the first, but Mazzini is quick to trade. He's going to be boxed in completely. Ultimate there to avenge MOUZ, and CobraZera is looking for action where Elite had created his own. Blitz does the same, and it's a 3 versus 2, but with Ultimate finding a flying Cobra, he reminds him that snakes are supposed to be on the ground.
Yeah, they weren't in a great position to pounce either. They got information on both players for just a flash. Just when CobraZera went for that jump, both Naf and Ultimate shot at him. Naf repositioning to Hut and perfectly played. Timing is great. Blitz on this low HP. Small gap in the smoke, and Naf goes investigating past it. 1-on-1 now here for Blitz. And 50 seconds on that clock. There is a lot of options for him.
Does Ultimate switch out of the AWP is my question. He's gone back over to Heaven. There's bodies nearby. Blitz has chosen to freeze. Ultimate might have to do the same. On paper, this is Blitz with experience. This is Blitz with a pedigree in these situations, but he doesn't have HP. He has to plant the bomb. He has every advantage working against him. A Molotov picked up, deployed, bomb's going to be planted, and the wide swing from Ultimate is all he needs. The easiest 1 versus 1 he's ever had, and a triple kill to give Team Liquid a lead they might not have thought they would live to see.
Yeah, beautifully played there from Ultimate. Blitz is playing with the clock because he knows the longer he waits, the more nervous Ultimate should become over time. And he's just hoping that because of the fact they dealt with that topside player so quickly in the 1v2, that Ultimate might have hedged his bet, put himself into the vents or close to the door, somewhere where he can make that fast rotation between the 2 bomb sites. Ultimate just takes the gamble and sits inside of Heaven, makes sure that he can't get flanked. And then once he hears that Molotov, knows that it's time to move. So really nicely done, kept his cool. Hit some important shots, 3K from Ultimate. Still finding impact as soon as he got that ult in play on the CT side. And finding more success.
19-10, man. Ultimate's had one hell of a series, and, well, he's not done yet.
You can tell he's dialed. He's rotating ramp too, so he'll be here on time to address this.
God, they can't even go. They go through the smoke. Ultimate gets taken down as missed shot will be his undoing. Do they have a secondary line of defense? Naf alone underneath in the bomb site. We'll have to deal with Blitz coming over as well. Blitz is taken down. Shui's rotation is good. And Naf, he spotted out Mazzini, critical secondary entry as well. Shui has support coming through. MOUZ will not have made noise. They will allow this bomb to be planted, and as Techno will hear the door open up, he's lucky that it's not a default plant. Never was going to be after Shui had already revealed position and gotten the kill in the way he had. 9-10 should now feel as if the onus shifts to him. Op in these post-plant anti-retake situations is supposed to be deadly for the T side. But CTs come with utility, they come with the smoke, they come with the flashes, but MongolZ comes with the shots, and that's what matters more than all. 9-10 picks off another, and MongolZ will make their way into this T side with their first round, courtesy of a beautiful triple from MongolZ.
Was not expecting this round to pan out this way. Smoke on ramp, Ultimate in the right position. He's been hitting shots. When he shot between the wickets, suddenly that lower bomb site became tested, but really nice understanding of the situation there from the MongolZ. For Naf to have made that rotation, not sure if they would have heard his retreat into that lower site, but they were very, very aware of that possibility, especially with Ultimate being that only man in defensive ramp. And once Naf was empty-handed, it became a very dire spot. Cobra, very aggressive over towards topside main, almost punishing the peak from Alige. Flash will keep him at bay. And as they cross, some damage done onto Blitz on his descent. These are not perfect jiggles here from Shui on the corner. But gets the spot, deploys the smoke, and blocks MongolZ from making more progress. A minute left. This won't feel that comfortable here for the MongolZ. That smoke will fade probably around that 40-second mark.
I'm watching out for Techno as well.
Pretty blind.
He's had a real rough game so far. 5-12, and he's going to be insurance of some forms. Not likely to be the first one to make contact over here, but should the MongolZ make their way over to the bomb site, you're going to need him to activate. Shuhei, however, good early pre-fire, doesn't get caught off or taken down, and with 30 seconds now, you're going to need activations all across the board. Blitz already taken apart. Shuhei well positioned. 9-10 trades, and it's always MongolZ to keep it going. 9-10 right there in the mix with him. Maybe Techno not needed after all.
There's no way.
How is MongolZ taking on the mantle of the necessary aggressor?
And just such important shots being hit by 9-10. Shuhei reacted as perfectly as he could have. Didn't take damage. Did some on the pre-fire. Forced them away. Repositioned. Ultimate got the first kill as they were trying to progress and chase Shuhei down. And then it all crumbles. Shuhei looks away from his potential fight at Decon. I'm not sure if he's looking at Ultimate and what he's doing, or if he's worried about the control side window. But he looks away, and MongolZ sprung to action. He ran through fire and flames to find the entry they needed on B. And just as soon as Liquid had a lead, it stripped right back away from them. These shots from 9-10, pivotal.
Liquid doesn't have money. Elysian MOUZ come out with the potential of being heroes, but MongolZ's already taken over every cape that's left from the building. God, he's just a man right now. He is just the man, Michael. We talked about how in the absence of Senzu's, MongolZ has been forced into a position of reliability, but he has embraced that mantle.
He stepped up. while the roster has tried to figure out firepower, output, positions. 9-10 has stepped into that limelight, but in terms of output and key moments, Mouzinho has been the guy to shoulder a lot of that responsibility. And he'll finish off a complete ace. There were 2 rifles brought into this round. Mouzinho dealt with like a bounty hunter, both of them at the very start. And there wasn't a single point where Liquid could have found an advantageous frag or opening. Not when Mouzinho's out on the yard. This will be a little bit deflating here for Liquid. They know this is their last real chance, proper gun round. They lose this, the Mongols are at 12, and they'll be pushed into a force buy.
They were doing so well. If you took a photo of some of the rounds they've lost, showed me the position and say, yeah, that CT side probably going to take it away.
Said before this map even got started, the Mongols don't mind a close shave, a close scoreline, especially on Nuke. Even with the Liquid answering back here in the second half and bringing the scoreline close, there are a few monsters that have arisen. 9-10 finding heavy impact, but Mouzinho serving as a massive opener, and 9-10 will spring to life. Blown open at the center of the smoke. Ultimate is dealt with, and he's been a key factor on the defense.
Shuhei. Can he step into the shoes of Ultimate? He's been forced away. Cobra Zera hunting for a kill. Knows there's damage being dealt, and Shuhei taken down because of it. 5-on-3. Liquid's last hope lies in saving. Not in this round. It has to be overtime. That's the only way Liquid can stay alive in the CS Asia Championships 2026.
Yeah, this is not looking likely. The flank on ramp is going to come in at a timing before Elige can properly set himself up at that backside. Out in the open, Blitz will flub his lines, but there the comp comes in late. Mouzinho goes out swinging, looking the wrong direction. Cobra there to trade. Man advantage still held by the Mongols. This is a do-or-die moment here for Team Liquid. MOUZ needs this kill from ramp. Back to 2-on-2. This retake is on.
I thought they had to save over here. 9-10. Only one of these two who's been getting real numbers out on the board. Is there a kit nearby on the side? Doesn't feel like there is, and they're going to have to back off because of it. You understand why.
That might have been, I know, but it also might have been their best chance. Post plants were not ideal there for the Mongols either. Blitz was their best perimeter player, or Cobra rather was their best perimeter player left. In that after plan, they were trapped inside of the site. Playing shoulder to shoulder, Liquid don't even hazard the glance. Oh my god, that is a hell of a shot from Cobra.
Ultimate won't have the op in the next round. He has been their primary defender. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers across Liquid. Ultimate's on 21 kills. The closest to him is Nap on 14. And Ultimate's going to try and get it done with a rifle. And he does find the one. Nap's right there with him. But when your highest production have been taken down by Techno, he's finally had that impact that we've been missing. Shuhei chases in from behind. MP9 or not, Techno is low. But Mouzinho, in the meanwhile, is outside. Techno taken down, back to a 3-on-3. MOUZ turns away, back into A. Mazinho's ready and waiting for it. Molotov up into the heavens, and with a leash falling, Shuhei, who chased into the wilderness for Techno,
Bomb has been planted.
will now come back in a 1 versus 3. MongolZ are 1 kill away from eliminating Team Liquid over here. And for Liquid, who have fought hard, they have fought long, they had their chances, they get to hold their head up high in this series, but only so long as it takes for MongolZ to chop it right off and eliminate them. Second to last.
Yeah, you see the smile on the face of Mara there. He knows things got a little nervy, but the team that he knows can perform at this high level really showed up.